Hi, and welcome to Grandel and Enfield. We're trying something a bit different today. We're going to do a classic auction, H&H auctions. They done the National Motorcycle Museum auction. What caught me was I was reading the classic motorcycle in November 2025, and the Pegasus 4 was on it. Now that piqued my interest, obviously, and what we're looking for is auction results. Yeah. Bear with me, this is my first time. Here we go. Look, National Motorcycle Museum, Solihull, West Midlands. Now, I'm not going to go through all. I missed the scooters. I missed about the first 6 or 7 bikes or something, 8 bikes maybe. So, what I wanted to see was, we have to actually start this where I came into the auction lot 2112. Super Rocket. I thought that went for a lot of money. I had one of these. They're a brilliant bike. But there's no way I could sell it for anything. The hammer fell on this. I think this is where it worked out better for me the way I've done it. The hammer fell on this. There was a guide at 3,200 weight. Blah blah blah. There was a guide from 3,200 to 3,800 on this one. So 3,800 the highest estimate. Now it's a lovely bike and everything, but as far as I know, I think there was 15 grand spent on it. Yeah. SRM costing 15 grand. I have one of these. I struggled to sell it for 6. I actually didn't sell it for 6. I swapped it for Norton 16H, 1947 one actually, and then I sold that to a museum in France. But the hammer price on this was actually £12,000. I'm going to do all this in pounds because I don't want to be confusing people. So there's no point in going through pounds and euro and dollars. I'm not going to do any of that. It's just this is the auction prices. This is what they either sold or didn't sell for. So the hammer fell on that at 12,000, which is a huge amount. I know, but I know it. You're gonna have to forgive me on this. This is my first time doing this. I'm normally don't do it this way. But anyhow, so with the fees, that was 13,800. You can see it there. Of course, the next one then was the Royal Enfield Bullet Big Head, or Big Head Bullet. And, see, I told you I'm not used to this. So the Big Head Bullet, there was no reserve on this one. Again, nice looking bike. No reserve, no guide price. And it sold for £3,400. Yeah, so I think if my math serves me correctly, that's 15% of fees. So it sold for 3,400, and the total price then was 3,910. Again, nice bike. You don't see many of them around, not the big heads anyhow. Next one is the Ducati Dama. You can correct me if I'm wrong. 4.5 to 5,000 was the guide price. Hammer price fell 6,750. Again, lovely looking bike, but 6,750 and total 7,762. Now I'm not going to do every single bike like I say on this because it would take too long. I just picked out kind of my favourite. So yeah, and there's a rough one of them on Dundee Island for sale. It's rough. It's easier that way. Yeah, there's a rough one for the Dharma for sale on Dundee. That's 9,500. So the next one is the Royal Enfield Crusader Trial Special. Sold. Guide price was 15 to 2,000, and it sold for 1,600, so 1,840 with fees. The Yamaha 400 Daytona Special. Guide price was 5 to 6,000. Hammer price was 4,100, so that's 4,750 with fees. That was the BSA A60 5, so the 650 unit construct engine, single unit. I don't know about these. Like I say, I had the A10 before, but that was a different. I've heard good stories and bad stories about them, so I don't know which to believe. If anyone has experience on these, anyhow, the 3 to 4,000 was the guide on that. Hammer price fell at 2,750, so making it 3,162. Which one have I got now? I have the BSA. That it's in a 1923, so she's coming on to 103 years old this year. Guide price was 3 to 4,000. Hammer price was 3,600, so the final price was 3,910. I can't imagine a lot of these being left now, especially hitting the 100-year mark. Now, next we have another Ducati. This one up here. I think this is lovely. So it's a 1984 Ducati 900 S2. Now the guide on this was 8 to 9,000. Hammer fell at 6,700. It was sold. So with these, I think this one and another one, I don't think that adds up to 15%, but 7,705. Like I say, the guide price was 8 to 9,000. It didn't reach it. Where are we next now? We have yeah, that Ducati as well. As it was one owner for the last 41 years. There's gone down a bit too far, have I? Yeah. The BSA Empire Star, 6,500 to 8,000 was the estimate. Bidding went to 5,000, so it didn't sell. and they've relisted it, I'd say, for the next auction at an estimate of 5 to 7. Like I say, it went to 5,000 on the bidding. They just didn't even go, but it's not my bike, so. Now we have another Ducati 916. I know these are, people are scared of them, but they are still beautiful bikes. 6 to 7 was the estimate on it, or the guide. Hammer fell at 5 grand. And again, that's not 15%. So I think it's a couple of hundred over it. So maybe just to get the lot sold, they went through another 100 or whatever. Another one that didn't sell. P&M Kawasaki 1000 unregistered, so I think it's a race bike. The estimate on this one now was 9 to 10,000. It still is 9 to 10,000. The bidding went to 6-1, and it remained unsold. No, it's not working for me. Like I say, you have to bear with me on this. This is my first time doing this, so I've learnt what works and what doesn't. The BMW was interesting, but I didn't get the guide or anything on that. I threw it out. But the VMAX, again, 2.5 to 3,500. Hammer fell at 3.3, so 3,795. They're becoming a bit scarce on the ground. I don't know. Then the Ariel Model VB, nice bike. I think these are great little starter classics or anything, you know. It's just getting me into it. There was no reserve on that. And I fell at, where are we? No reserve. Hammer fell at 1,700. So that was 1955. If you were born that year, you paid for it. £2 more, and it would have been 1957 soon. And now, like I say, this is a bit of providence with it, but these things are hard to drive. I know fellas get used to them and stuff, but like the Ariel would have been a better starter classic. But then again, ex-Barry Goodman model CG3, again the estimate 3 to 4. Hammer fell at 5.1, but that's 8,650. See, I don't know what I'm doing. What will be next? Oh yeah, here we go. So I was looking for. Nice colour on this one. The tank is tiny, alright. American import. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're the proper English bars. But the usual American one with the 2-in-1 exhaust. Now it looks nice. Bike looks immaculate, but what we on this one, the Super Rocket 4 to 5. And the first one on the auction went to 12. This one made 6.4. And you can see it with the 7 360 compared to the first one that 13.8, so virtually half. Close enough to half, anyhow. I was surprised at this one. Ask anyone, they keep telling you, no, don't buy these are out of fashion, you won't be able to sell it, they're useless, you can't ride them, blah blah blah. Proves what everybody knows. Everybody knows nothing here. Nobody knows anything. Not my type of thing, I will admit, but when I seen the guide on this, I said, no way, it's a 2004 Panzer Captain America bike. You can see it there, anyhow. The guide on this was 14 to 16. I was saying, there's no way he's going to make that. The hammer fell at 27.5. So there you see it, 31,625. I don't know what you do with it, but a lot of money. So I like this one. I've never driven one. I'd love to have a go off one. The Benelli, say, the 900. They were the first to do a 6-cylinder production bike, but I think that was the 750, wasn't it? And here, just the 6-cylinder 900. Guide price on her was 8 to 10,000. You see it. Hammer fell at 6,000. Now I've just highlighted as well. I think my maths is bad, but 6,000 and 15% isn't 8,625. So I'd say they came to a kind of a deal afterwards. But lovely bike, not many of them on the road. 8 grand. Like I say, I'm only doing euro here because oh, sorry, pound sterling, because that's what it's on, and I converting it. And this one is, this is there's no reg, no reserve. It's a brave one. This is a Comet. I was interested in what this would go for. There's no reserve on it, like I say. Hammer fell at 3,750, so whether some fella's buying a load of parts or he needs just to knows what this has like or it hasn't got. Either way, it's a kind of bit rich by blood, so that was 4,312 is there. The fees included. Another one is Suzuki Hayabusa in the Lucky Strike, which of course is my favourite rider of all time, Kevin Schwantz. And when he retired, I stopped watching MotoGP. So the guide on the Hayabusa was 5 to 6. Hammer fell at 3,750. Again, I think there was a bit of wheeling and dealing done on the end of that, because the hammer fell at 3,750. And day price is 4,715. On the page 2, I'm not like I say, I'm not going through all of them. It would take a day. It took me a day to write them down anyhow. Yeah, not an International Model 40. Catchy 7 to 8,000. 1951. I'm trying to see, is it road registered without? It was 1951. 7 to 8,000 was the guide price. Hammer fell at 6,700. And again, I think a bit of William Demons. 7,762 was the sale price. reputedly raced in period. All these are still on the internet anyhow for a while, so if you want to look over anything else, see what it made. Model 40. What's the Model 40? Oh yeah, that's that, yeah. I thought this was nice as well, actually, the AJS 757 race bike, like, but now, guide on that was 9 to 11. Hammer fell at 7,250. So, I don't. Do you think things are leveling out? Yeah, your 8338 with fees. I think these BMWs are a good value, especially for a winter hack. Another one now, the strange one. You don't see many of these. Many. I haven't seen any for sale really. I think there might be one for sale in Ireland. So you have the 6-cylinder Honda engine, Honda Roo, or Ruined. This one was guided at 11 to 15,000. There you go. Hammerfell 7,250. So, and then there you see the 8338 final price. They were very expensive. Can anyone tell me how much they were when they were? They were new, like the Harley. I didn't take any notes of that. Average price, I reckon, I suppose. Now these are just pure race bikes. These are the first one is a Suzuki Jeep RGP, Darren Dixon bike. I was surprised this didn't go, in a sense, because it estimated 30 to 40,000. Now, the bidding went up to 25,550. It remains unsold, and they've reduced the top end of the estimate to 34,000. But I thought it would go at that. To be honest, I thought they'd leave it go at 25,000. This is the same Honda RS. Water cooled, does it? No, it doesn't say who raced it. No, it's a private collector restored in Joey Dunlop livery. So this then as well, 40 to 50,000 was the estimate on this, and it went to 28,000. Now they've reduced the 40 to 50 to 38 to 45, but that's a lot of money. 28,000. And can you race them anymore? Is there any? Can you race the two-stroke still? Yeah. Whatever. Here's Velocet Model H. Model U. Sorry, Model U. Again, you have the hand gear change. You can learn to ride these things, but you have to learn all over again. Pottering and country lanes, no problem. In around towns and cities, no, not really. 2 to 3,000, which I thought was cheap, actually, to be honest with you. But the hammer fell at 4.9, and now you see at 5,635. It's the what's the hammer price? Nice Ducati there. Oh, not Ducati. Motor Guzzi. Yeah, it's this one I think I'm yeah, it is. Yellow Ducati, I think 748 SPS. It doesn't. If anyone can tell me what's special about it, I'd love to know. But I don't know why it was valued at 9 to 11,000. 9 to 11 for a 99. It was best of 90s in the Stafford show, October 2025. Bid went up to 6,750. It remains unsold. So maybe if you're looking for one, it's in the next auction, I'd say. Now, onto another Ducati. There you go. Like I say, I like these. I like the styling and the engine, everything. So she is a 900 SS 1980, guide of 9 to 11,000. 7,250 was the final price, so that's 8,338. Now, these are basically just my personal choices. I like these. I've always liked these. I didn't have the Speed Twin as such, but I had the Police one, the P. On the day she was estimated at 3 to 3.5. Still estimated at the same. The Hammer fell at 2,500 and she was unsold. Nice colour and everything. But again, a nice bike to start with if you're starting on classics. They're not bad. But you don't need me advising you on that sort of thing. Did you think I'm a Ducati nut or something like this? But it's not a Ducati. I think this is why you really don't go for Hammer or these limited number bikes, unless it's number one on. This is number 477 of 500. Really, unless it's number one or number 500, the kind of mediocre in between, and it's shown on the day. Reserve of 14 to 18,000. Bid went up to 12,250. Unsold. So like I say, that remained unsold as well. Petronas, one of 75 built. Again, sold this the AJS. I can't remember what it was, the guide was, but it sold at 4. Next one is this, the Aerial Square 4. I remember you couldn't buy these. There was no reserve on this one. Fellas are scared of them as well, actually, to be honest. All the stories of the rear cylinders overheating and seizing, and so there was no reserve on it, which is kind of unusual for a bike like that. 6,500 was the Hammer price. It sold for 7,475. Told you I'm useless at this. Who put me in charge of this? Better hurry on because this thing is Nobody's going to be watching it this long. Sit here. The Triumph Trophy. Triumph Trophy. TR6C Trophy. 4,500 to 5,500 was the guide. Hammer fell at 10.7. So with fees, that's £12,305. A lot of money. This is the one that actually brought me into the auction. This it was in the magazine. It's 101. There's no other one of it. It's Pegasus. It's an Austin 7 engine. As far as I know, it's hand-built. Unique, mysterious bike with Austin 7 power. Guide price was 24 to 26. It still is 24 to 26. It went up to 18,500. Very specialist, and remains unsold. So probably the next auction again. Now we're going into my kind of the Modigas Le Mans. Again, I remember a time when you couldn't actually buy these. The price was unreal. 4 to 5,000 estimate. Hammer fell at 4,250, so that's £4,888. Like I say, I remember a time when you couldn't get near them. You know, especially not here in Ireland now. And here you have the Harley Davidson VRSCA V-Rod. Again, supposedly they're hard to sell and stuff, but I don't know. Well, yeah. The estimate on this was, I thought it was a bit optimistic. The estimate was 8 to 10,000. Sold. Hammer price was 6,750. So there was an after sale on that as well. 7,762, which is not 15%. Dollars dishwater. I had one, so you can't say I don't know what I'm talking about. They're alright. They're just not good at anything in particular. Now, I don't know what these, everyone's making them into gold stars. The B33, the Gold Star Evocation, so it's a replica, there's no reserve on it. Again, I would change the handlebars, but again, a good way to get into, if you can kick it, good way to get into classic bikes. Not, well, I think not a lot of money. The hammer price was 3,100, 3,565. Like I say, as long as people know it's not a real gold star and you're not trying to sell it as a real gold star, I don't see any problem with doing it. But there was a lot of these converted and people sold them off as gold stars, so be wary. I think I have this Trident, yeah. Again, I like these 3-cylinder Trident, the last hurrah of the. I love especially the middle pipe. I love the way it's split into two. Decent enough condition looking, yeah. Indicators, so you have all your modern conveniences. 4.5 to 5.5. 1975. Reached 6250 at the hammer, so that's 7188. I guess you could look through all these. The Sunbeam S8. 10 years of restoring. Immaculate condition. Rather than that catalogue. I've never driven one of these. This and the S8 or the S7. I'd love to try it. Result of 10 years past best in show winner. What was the guide on that? Was 3.5 to 4.5, which I thought was cheap. But she sold for 2,750. I say again, there was a bit of after dealing, I'd say, because the final price is 4,025. But she only went to 2,750. Now, she doesn't have the gold wheels, so I'm not 100% sure. So that's an 80s model, isn't it? It's a 1980. 81 had the gold wheels, as far as I know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think this had a guide price of 4 to 5. Now on Dundee in Ireland, there's one for €12,000. So this went 5,000 was the upper estimate. So she went for 6,3 as a 7,245 with fees. There's not a lot of them around. That's what I grew up looking at, yearning after. There was, for some reason, there was a lot of Yamahas. When I was growing up, a lot of DTs and 125s, 250s, a couple of Addies. So this is Bimoto YB9SRI or SR1. Formerly property of Richard Hammond. I don't think that holds. I don't think it holds it. It makes it any more valuable than it's sold. The guide price was 4.5 to 5.5. The hammer fell at 4.2. So 4.830. You know, you don't buy it for the name because the name doesn't transfer onto you. A couple of. Do I have that? No, I didn't write down the Sunbeam S7. So that's the blue and tired. Sold 6,900. What's the next in the comment? See, we do that. Oh no, here it is. Vincent Comment Series C, 6 to 7,000. The guide price 10,750. So that's 12,362. Never driven one either. I don't think many people will let you drive their ones of them. Not at that money. Oh, this is, yeah. Now I'm going to get stick, I know, for pronouncing this, but I'm going to pronounce it the way Jay Leno, who has one, pronounce it as the Eggly Vincent. Now I can't see the Eggly on the tank. So I thought he'd done the Egglies were in chrome. Adapter knows how to anyhow, there was no reserve on it. How I fell at 5,000. That's 5,750. I can't see where it's ugly on it. Nice. It's I suppose a bit different to your normal monkey bike. If you're into your Harleys, an X90, 22 to 28 was the guide. And she reached 3,000, so that's 3,450. Surely that would buy a brand new monkey, wouldn't it? Or close enough. New monkey. Yeah, this another one came in with no reserve on it. All of these things, it's not for the likes of me. I wouldn't have a clue where to start on them. Specialist parts and stuff. But it's a stalled. There was no reserve on it. So they were letting it 8,750 it sold for. So it was £10,062. Oh, this was interesting. The Bultaco TSS 250. It's claimed, I don't know, is there any Barry Sheen's 250 that he started on? The Bultaco 250 TSS. What was it, 14 to 18,000? That reached bang on the middle, 16,000, so that was 18,400 with fees. So I don't like the auction that way. You have to be constantly calculating. Well, I suppose if you're going with your set up ready to go, yeah, that's the best way to do it, is actually add your 15% to the price you want to pay. And that's your top price, then don't go over it. This isn't road registered. Got a race history. It's a BSA A10 Super Rocket. 2,500 to 3,500. Still a nice bike like this. Not here, you couldn't get it road registered here, but over in England you probably could. They won't do it here for you. So 2,500 to 3,000. Hammer fell at 2,700. So you see there, £3,105. Not bad. You pay that for an engine. I was before I bought my I meant to tell this story before I bought my Shadow 750 Shadow. There was one closer to me, a couple miles up the road from me actually, and it's Polish reg, so I thought it wouldn't be too bad to re-register it here. So I phoned up it's actually the car test centre. We have to do it through here. They wanted a proof of address, a bill dated within the last 6 months, driving licence, and a bank statement with my current bank details on it. They're after being hacked a couple of times. You're telling me I have to give them my my bank details, and why would you be giving any government freaking thing access to your bank details? Because, no, don't worry, there's not millions or hundreds of thousands or anything in the bank, but I still don't want to be giving it to the government. I know enough already. Anyhow, here we go. They're not an international, no reg, no reserve, no guide price. Hammer fell at 5,000, so that's 5,750. You're waffling on now. Not a Ducati. 1994 Ducati 916 Strada Monteposto. Decimal Quattro. Cause that's the only colour to get. Well, the yellow looks okay as well, but Ducati red is the only colour to get a Ducati. Guide on this was 8 to 10,000. Smashed it 14,000, so that's 15,000 out the door with fees. Now here's again these BMWs here and stuff. They're good rollerblades, especially if you use them as winter hacks or anything. So the next, we're on to the last of it now. Just a couple more bikes. They're getting Harley there, look, for €1,300. Yeah, Harley Davidson for €1,300, just a 1,200. It needs a good cleaning up and probably a lot of tyres and stuff. But you can't go far wrong with 13, could you? If it was there, I would have been nearly tempted on that, except importing it here is, like I say, a nightmare. And here's the looks. Now, I was looking at this myself. At 14 to 16, I thought, not a hope in hell. Because, you see here, the deluxe. Of course, I can't do this way. Single family since the 1940s wrote it. His son stripped it. He died. His son stripped it with stone. The son died, and it was passed on to. Now, there's no pistons or com rods. There's a hell of a lot missing from this, and I don't think you can just pop into your local motorbike shop and order the parts. So I was surprised at that. At 14 to 16, it went to 27,500. So that's 31,625. Well, and like I say now, kind of grew up. Was born in the 60s, so these were all around the place when I was young, and that's the kind of bikes I remember. Not many of them around now, and definitely not in that condition. So she was guided at 2.2 to 2.8. But she sold for Hammerfell at 3.4, so she sold for 3.9. Oh yeah, like I say, I don't know a lot about these. I don't think I would be brave enough to take on something like that. But she was sold with no reserve. It's a Vincent Rapide engine. So if you're doing a special build, Nogra have one, them on his bike. No reserve, 7,000 was the hammer price, so £8,050 is the premium. And we'll finish with again, a good bike for starting on the classics. Well, good, dependable BMW R60-6. No reserve. 1,500 was the hammer price. So, total with fees. There you go, there's the description of it. Excellent value. 17.25. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. It's my first time trying this, so any feedback we get be much appreciated. Good or bad, doesn't matter. So thanks. Ride safe. Get home. Ride your own ride. Grandad on Enfield.